Welcome back, everybody. We got game two coming of Team Great versus Seven Deadly Sins. Seven Deadly Sins able to take game one. What do you think we're going to see differently this game, Dylan? Lowy ban?
Yeah, most definitely a Lowy ban. Team Great opted to take a very, very nice team fighting comp last game, but they just couldn't keep even with the Alawi split push. Light Pulse able to 1v2 and 1v3 and take members down and turrets down with him, able to just prevent Team Great from getting that 5v5 they wanted with their Malphite Zyra Vi combination.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if they banned out Sebastian. Sebastian is like, man, I can't believe you're banning out my best champion. What a surprise.
I think he really wants to play Jace.
Doesn't his reaction like indicate that everyone's going to always ban it?
I mean, yeah, it goes along the lines of Front Lash and Poppy on our team. It's just banned every time, and it's like, come on, guys, one time, please, just once.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. That's what happens when you're good at the champion. Looks like probably the same bans coming out here. I really do hope they opt to ban that Alawi. I think Light Pulse has played it game after game after game, and he's just been putting in ridiculous amount of work on it. So hopefully they opt to ban him. But I guess we'll see if they think that's a priority.
Yeah, and I think their third ban last time was the Morgana, which I'm not really sure where that was coming out, except maybe as to ensure their Zyra pick couldn't be countered by that Black Shield and Dark Binding.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Theatrics is the kind of jungler that plays like 20,000 junglers. I don't think he's played the same game. I think the only time he's played the same champion in more than one game was when he subbed for our team and he played Rek'Sai 2 games in a row. I think other than that, he's played literally completely random champions.
Yeah, but they're really respecting that Graves last time. He was able to fight Ayurian in the jungles one-on-one and take him down a few times, and he boasted a very nice score of 11-2 despite seemingly low damage output. He was very much a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they're showing that they respect his play from last game. I really hope they ban Alawi. I really hope they don't leave it open.
Yeah,
Oh gosh, I hope they learn from their mistakes.
Lightpool's picking that up every time it's open. He's just putting it into teams and just showing them why Alawi is a strong champion. She just split pushes.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, maybe we'll see them try to first pick it for bounty. But it really just is a strong champion, and she can throw down with her ultimate and drop the 1v3, 1v2, 1v4s and just take players down with her.
I guess Simplex really wants to play Morgana. That must be what it is.
Yeah, not really making a strong showing on that Zyra, not really forcing Jirachi and Symphonic Salute back from the waves very much. Just really, really not doing what Zyra's supposed to be doing, and probably wants to get back onto something he's more comfortable with.
Putting that Vi back. I guess, I think Urian was trying to make good plays in the Vi first game. I think it was one of those things he just didn't really, when your team is down so much gold, it's hard to make those plays. But, again, I thought overall it wasn't the worst pick.
Yeah, really, really putting too much focus, in my opinion, on trying to keep that Alawi down. When she has the potential to 1v2, he probably should have been forcing into other lanes and trying to keep a lead on his damage carries rather than and just leave the Malphite for himself. Because whether Malphite's behind or ahead, his ultimate still is a huge force in team fights.
Yeah, I mean you're totally right. I mean he ganked the Alawi a couple of times. He got that kill up top in the beginning, but I mean after that he ganked a bunch of times and nothing really came of it. Just kills for Alawi. The Nautilus pick coming out could be support, could be top lane. I have not seen Light Pulse play Nautilus top lane. Not saying that he couldn't, because Nautilus is not a very hard champion to play. So it could be something he does opt for the top lane. Could be support, though. You never know where that could go. Kind of a flex a little bit anywhere.
Yeah, and seeing as he doesn't really play too many tanky top laners, that's more than likely going to be seen down in the bot lane. as Symphonic Salute has lately been practicing a little bit of his Nautilus. He's got a few games in there trying to expand his champion pool down in the bottom lane.
Nautilus support is one of the most underrated supports, I swear. People do not realize how strong Nautilus support is. It is so good. Oh, Hecarim. Great. Hecarim versus Vi. Wow, that's unique. We haven't seen that in a while. Except like every game ever.
See, I don't know what you're talking about. Usually we see either Hecarim or Vi banned against us, and we pick the other one for our jungler, so
well,
we never
true.
see that
that's
matchup.
Man, I hate Hecarim.
Yeah, he's just
I hate a lot of champions.
Hecarim is incredibly good. He opts to usually ignore that jungle item and just build straight into the Trinity Force with his dueling smite. And we see a Tahm Kench pick on the side of Team Great.
I love it, dude. I love it.
I'm not really sure where that one's going to go, but it's more than likely down in the bot lane as support for Simplex. Able to just eliminate the Nautilus lockdown by eating whoever's getting crowd controlled and just breaking that CC and getting someone out safely.
Clarifying. Team kill. Yeah. Tahm Kench is, it's, what's it, they went with the Heck in the Nautilus, so it's not bad. If you eat someone who has Nautilus ultimate, the ultimate still does go to him, so it will knock you guys up. But at the end of the day, it's not the worst pick. It depends. If it is Nautilus support, it would be a good pick because it's a good counter to Nautilus support. But if it's going somewhere else, it will depend on what they pick, I suppose.
Oh, that's most likely definitely going into the bot lane with them picking up Jinx for Psycho Boy. Jinx having very, very much lacking mobility and trying to stay safe on that backline. Tahm Kench is a very nice support to have on her side.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's great to have the ability to just basically escape anything at all. That Tahm Kench is great for any hyper carries that are a little bit risky. I know Psycho Boy is mainly a Vayne player, so I know he's mainly an aggressive player. So if he plays aggressive on the Jinx, it'll be nice to have the escape with the Tahm Kench at any time.
Yeah, and Team 7 Deadly Sins pulling out the Varus, and of course that Alawi going back into the top lane. They're going to punish Team Great for not banning that away because it was a huge impact in that last game. Really, really putting down the split push and creating space for his team to do what they needed to do, picking up turrets left and right.
I guess I just don't see it as a priority. I don't know. Maybe they think they have the counter for it.
Yeah, and I mean, despite Light Pulse making a few questionable decisions, pushing up alone 1v5, he was still able to put out the pressure.
Yeah, it's not like it really mattered that much. I mean, he just distracted them all over the map. I think a main problem was that Urien came top with that Vi a couple of times and tried to make the plays and then gave those kills to the Alawi and was able to give her that lead.
Yeah, Team Great now picking up Garen for that top lane.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm wrong, I think that may be a first-time pick for our series here. Trying to pull that out, see if it can't handle the Alawi by utilizing his silence to stop her from pushing out damage with her ultimate up.
Hell yeah, man. I'm ready to see this Garen go off.
Yeah,
I'm ready to see this Garen.
So that definitely solidifies that Tahm Kench pick as their support for Simplex, who's going to try and keep Psycho Boy safe on that highly immobile Jinx and try and get him farmed up.
I like the Syndra pick. That's something they were missing last game was that damage, and Syndra brings a lot of that. That's for sure.
Yeah, and this is one of Baja Blast Lover's big champions. One of his most played, especially most played recently, other than that Akali, which has been banned away. And a brand pickup for Team 7 Deadly Sins for the mid lane.
You kind of need something that's a little more consistent. Brand is that consistent damage there. As long as he lands one, or two of his skill shots in team fights, he's going to be bringing a lot of that damage. While at the same time, the Brand will be able to the Varus will be able to poke in the back. Wow, the Brand just puts that damage out in front.
Yeah, and Brand's one of those very safe picks where even if he gets behind, as long as he's able to hit 3 spells onto one of the enemy champions, his passive will scale off of the enemy's HP and be able to output that damage regardless of how low his ability power is. So it's a very safe pick, while at the same time it's very dangerous to push up with Brand as he's very low mobility. But in the end, team fights, he can still put that damage out even if he gets put behind.
Yeah, I don't really necessarily know who has the advantage in the Syndra Brand matchup. I think it could honestly go either way. I think it really depends on who gets, summoner spells and stuff like that.
Yeah, the advantage definitely goes to Syndra in this specific matchup, this 1v1, because her stun, she can cast it through a minion line and be able to pick off the Brand with just AoE abilities, whereas Brand heavily relies on hitting his stun, which is a single target skill shot. So he needs to really position himself well around these minions to be able to avoid Syndra's damage and get his stun down and trade back with her.
Yeah, I mean, she could definitely outrange him. It really will just depend on who lands more skill shots. If Syndra does outrange him and is able to get those stuns early on, she'll keep Brand away from the wave, and she'll be able to kind of prevent him from last inning. But if she does miss those and Brand is able to capitalize on him, you land a WQ combo from Brand or even an EQ, whatever you're landing, Brand is going to do a ton of damage. So if Baja misses a couple of his skill shots, Brand is going to get a big advantage there. So it definitely, I would agree with you in saying Syndra does have the advantage in the sense that she can outrange him. But if she does, if she doesn't play it well, the Brand can get a big advantage there. All right, so let's break these teams down one team at a time. So let's start with Team Great. What are you thinking about this team, Dylan? What are you thinking of their?
They're definitely really looks like they're relying on this Jinx to pop off and be the hyper carry in the end, get farmed up and be strong. Because Syndra in a late game team fight, now that they've changed her passive Scatter the Weak from max rank to, or not Scatter the Weak, but the one that picks up the spheres. So instead of picking up 3 spheres, it now picks up 1 sphere and does true damage. So while she has better single target output, it really put a hampering on her ability to crowd control an entire team by throwing 3 spheres at them and getting that easy 5-man stun. So really, the Syndra outputting damage, the Jinx is going to be their main source of large AoE damage, pulling out that Hurricane. And the Vi and the Garen are just trying to be the front line, and Tahm Kench keep those carries safe. I think they have a decent team fight. But 7 Deadly Sins, on the other hand, their team fight is mainly that Hecarim, Brand, Nautilus, because Varus, while his ultimate is very good at picking off players and rooting them down, they have a ton of crowd control between Nautilus and Brand and then Hecarim's ultimate. And Illaoi really doesn't fit into a teamfight pattern for the most part, so she really wants to split off. And I think they may have a very strong 4v5, so it'll be very interesting to see how they play it and what picks they go for with that Vi Assault and Battery and that Syndra Scatter the Weak stun to try and pick off the carries from Team 7 Deadly Sins.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at comparison to last game, I think Team Great definitely had a big upgrade. I think the Khazad was a good pick, but not what they were looking for in their team comp as the form of damage. They had the Ezreal and they had the Khazad last game, so you didn't really have that guaranteed damage. I mean, this game, you have that from your Syndra and you have that from your Jinx and even your Garen. You have a lot more damage to back up that engage of the Assault and Battery from the Vi. So you have that kind of just basic damage overall. So I think overall their team was an upgrade. As far as 7 Deadly Sins, I think it's pretty much the same. I think it's essentially the same team composition. Maybe a little bit of an upgrade going with the Brand in the mid lane. A little more reliable than the Annie. Going with the Hecarim in the jungle. I think it's a little bit more ways to engage. So I think overall, though, if I were going to rate one team, I would say Team Great might have the advantage in team composition, just because Brand and Varus are immobile, and that's Scout of the Week from Syndra. If she is able to land it on one of them and use her ultimate, they'll die, and they don't really have that much peel. I mean, you have the Nautilus, but at the same time, you can't peel a Syndra ultimate. So if she can get the pick on the Varus, or she can get the pick on the Brand, that'll give a big advantage to them. And I think that's something that they're really going to need to play it around. Is they're going to really need to play around those Syndra stuns and her being the playmaker.
Yeah, and it definitely helps. Whereas while Team 7 Deadly Sins, they have two very, very strong tanks coming out from that Hecarim and that Nautilus, and even Alawi can get a bit tanky. But that new Garen passive with his spin, it now shreds armor for him after hitting so many damage ticks on an enemy, along with the Black Cleaver. He's just going to shred down the armor for that front line and allow Jinx to get very, very great damage output there. So Team 7 Deadly, or Team Great, I should say, actually has a very, very nice team fight again. And probably a little bit stronger team fight than last time, because with that Jinx coming out, she has good, strong, long-ranged AoE damage. Just a little outperforms Ezreal in late-game team fights.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing I'm really worried about is that Kench Simplex, went with Ignite rather than Exhaust. They're going to need to get a kill in lane. That's what he's saying. But I mean, when you get to late game, you really, really, really want to have an Exhaust for the Alawi or the Hecarim. It's going to be a little tough to deal with them late game when you don't have an Exhaust. So if maybe they can get those kills early, because I mean, once you get to late game, when the Hecarim and the Alawi go in on the Jinx, other than eating her and saving her, you're not really going to have many ways to peel her without an Exhaust. So I think that's a little questionable. Maybe if he gets a kill with it in lane, it'll benefit him. But we're going to have to see if that pays off in the end.
And they're going to have to hope that they can at least apply pressure enough. Maybe get a good Devour on one of them and bring them under turret, and use that Ignite to its fullest and really deny the heal coming from Jirachi.
What we could be seeing... Giving a little BM here, playing a little bit of song. Looks like teams are just giving their best wishes to each side. But I think, in my opinion at least, the feature matchup is going to be mid lane. If that Syndra can get really far ahead, she's gonna. Oh, looks like they're gonna be able to go in on this. The dredge line's coming out. Now just gonna back out. Just not respecting the Tahm Kench emote span. Yeah, Simplex is just insulted by that greatly.
Simplex dropping the rude in all chat for them to know.
Damn. But I think if it really depends on the mid lane this game. If that Syndra can get very fed, it's gonna be hard to deal with her. She's gonna be able to kill the Varus extremely easily.
Yeah, she'll just toss out a couple Dark Spheres and hit that R button and just delete either the Brand
Yeah.
or the Varus.
Dylan, you have to keep in mind, it is very difficult to actually press your finger on the R button. It takes a lot of coordination, so you have to actually move your mouse over the champion. So that's something we might be forgetting about. We gotta make sure we gotta see Baha able to produce on that pushing of the button.
That's right, and there's always the chance that his R button has been slightly misplaced from his keyboard and he can't find it anymore.
Who knows? He could have eaten like Cheetos before the game. It could be sticky or something. You never know. He could have done something else. We have no idea what he could have done before the game. But regardless, we've got a little normal games going on so far. A little bit of poking going around. Gonna have to see if Bounty is able to make plays with this Garen. Because they didn't ban the Alawi. So maybe they had the Garen planned to deal with it. I kind of have to see if that works out for him.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting pick because Garen definitely is very, very strong trading off in lane, but Symphonic Salute going in with the dredge line and bot lane trading back and forth, nothing really much to gain. Yeah, that Garen with the with the Grasp of the Undying, really putting the hurt on Light Pulse's Alawi and keeping up in trades.
And Urian looks to be trying to make a play up here as well. Again, with these early ganks. Oh, the Flash Vault Breaker, burning Light Pulse's Flash as well, though. But Bounty seems to be doing a better job this time, able to put up with that Alawi a little bit easier than he did last time.
Yeah, the Malphite just doesn't have that early game damage output that Garen does with his trading back and the sustain off of that Grasp of the Undying. He really is having a much nicer lane up there.
Wolf. Still taking a lot of damage, though. Urian is really trying to make something happen here. No. Light Pulse just knows every time he can't get an easy gank off on it, especially with Urian's Flash being down. And Hook's coming down bottom lane on Symphonic Salute. This passive coming out for the stun. Looks like Simplex is just going to devour Jinx and say, we're getting out of here, baby. Not even close.
Yeah, and that's where that Tahm Kench pick really shines through on the immobile Jinx is he can just devour her and try and walk away from fights and prevent as much damage as possible early on.
Man, now Light Pulse is just going off. Oh, Bounty with a nice spin. But still getting that Test of Spirit out from Alawi. Oh, the poke coming out from Symphonic bottom on this Nautilus. He's been laying a lot of these hooks, man. He's been making a lot of very nice plays so far. I think every hook we've seen him land so far, it's been going well.
Yeah, he's definitely showing his mastery with Nautilus, knowing how to go in and trade off and hitting those hooks. He lands another one right now under turret, and Simplex simply devours Psycho Boy and dodges out on the piercing arrow.
Yeah, it's interesting that Urian is still opting to camp the Alawi top. I mean, already he's down double his farm to Theatrix on the Hecarim. He opted to camp. He burned the Flash early on, and maybe decided that because he burned the Flash early on, he'd be able to make another play when he came back. But it's just so hard ganking an Alawi top, and he's almost just trying to force something rather than looking for other possible lanes. I mean, if you look at Jirachi and Symphonic, they have been pushed literally since like the 3-minute mark. So that could be a good opportunity for a gank down there.
Yeah, and keep in mind that while that farm seems to be incredibly different in the jungle favoring the Hecarim, their gold is incredibly close because that farm number itself is heavily inflated by Hecarim having taken the Raptors, and we see Symphonic Salute deep on Psycho Boy getting caught out by Urian as they try and lock him down.
Nice
he walks over
grabs.
the Jinx Chompers, and Simplex gets the Devour off and takes first blood on
Nice.
Symphonic Salute, going a little deep while Urian was in there. And Theatrix comes in to try and pick up the kill on the backside, going in on Urian, and he just doesn't get there in time. Urian pulling off a very successful Vi gank before Theatrix can respond on this Hecarim.
Yeah, that was a very nice chompers coming out from Jinx. That really was the kill, the thing that determined the kill there. If other than that, I think if those weren't down, Nautilus would have just flashed away. Symphonic probably would have been able to survive, but because of those chompers, they were able to guarantee that kill, and the tongue lashing plus the devour from Tahm Kench just guaranteed the kill there. He wasn't really able to get away from it, but like you said, very nicely played. A flash coming out from Bounty top lane might have been a mistake. I'm not sure what he was trying to do.
Yeah, he basically flashed in place there to get a silence on Light Pulse that he already had. Trying to get that decisive strike damage in, and not really sure what he was going for there, but Light Pulse forced the back anyway.
Hey man, it's that sticky keyboard syndrome. That's the problem. But you know, he definitely does seem to be having a better time in this top lane than he did on the Malphite last time. He's pretty even in farm when you go to Q. I love it. Oh, Urian's coming in from the gank bottom lane. The dredge line misses. He just get the Vault Breaker on. Almost does still have flash and exhaust. Looks like the smite's coming out to slow him. He does still have flash. That's one Jinx auto, 2 Jinx autos, able to get out of there.
Flashes away.
Psycho is taking a lot of damage from the minions there, but he was able to just escape that with this flash. Urian's charging up the Vault Breaker, does miss though. Excessive Force trying to come out. The exhausted Devour is going to save the Vi. Looks like Psycho might be a little bit stuck here now though. Man, and not coming out on top of that 3v2, that gives tons of time to Theatrix to just farm his jungle and get even more far ahead.
Yeah, and that was a very nice flash timing from Symphonic Salute right as the third proc on the Tahm Kench passive came through, disallowing the Devour to bring him back into the fight and try and secure a kill.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing another huge farm lead for Jirachi bottom, too. Up about 20 farm at this point, 25 farm. I mean, that's a big lead, especially for a Jake's. Fights coming out from the Nautilus, it's been very hard to farm. That threat of any time getting hooked is very hard. A lot of pressure to put on you. And I mean, even there, the piercing arrow, it's just very difficult as a Jinx to farm when you have all this pressure.
Yeah, and Jirachi having 2,200 gold in the bank, he's going to be able to get a very, very nice purchase on his next back. Get very close to finishing that Yumu's Ghost Blade early on and be able to keep Psycho Boy off of even more farm after this. He's just doing very well at catching the farm, sitting at about 8 CS per minute right now at the 9-minute mark.
I really want to see what Urian's going to do here. I mean, he looks like he's going to get his blue. He could opt to go top lane. I mean, it is warded. It looks like Symphonic's trying to roam mid. He is going to walk over a couple wards, though. So, just going to decide not the best idea. Head on back bot lane.
And Aerian actually opting to take the blue for himself rather than hand that to Baja Blast Lover. I'm not sure if Theatrix handed his over to his mid laner either. Very, very selfish jungle play right now. I mean, their mid lanes are doing fine. Baja Blast Lover does have that Lost Chapter out right now, so he's doing alright on mana. But Balakastrand, it'll be interesting to see how he compares up to that. It seems he's going for the mask first instead of mana regen.
Bounty. You are on the wrong side here, man. You're missing the whole wave. Get back there. Go around. Oh, now the engage is coming there from the Hecarim. The damage is coming out. Vile says the Vault Breaker out. Bounty looks like he's a little bit by himself here. Does still have his flash. No, he doesn't have flash. The ultimate's coming out. The Assault Battery. The Synth is following up here. The ultimate from Light Pulse coming out. Oh, not enough. The ultimate coming out from Baja Blast. Able to finish him off. Very nice unleashed power. Able to completely crush the Light Pulse before he was able to get any procs on his tentacles from his Leap of Faith. He had no other tentacles in range. He wasn't able to get a max proc. But an ultimate's coming out from Varus in the bottom lane. Looks like it's not going to be enough. They're trying to follow up here. Nice Devour from Tahm Kench saying, get out of here. Not even close. You ain't getting my carry today.
Yeah, and that fight happening, breaking out in the top river, Aerian actually opting to Vault Breaker out of the fight while Bounty was in the middle, and then he comes back in with the Assault Battery. Had they called for the fight right away as Baja Blast Lover popped the Ghost to run up, they might have been able to pick off 2 kills, getting a second on Theatrix there, but Aerian playing it safe this time, learned last time from last game, handing a few kills over, trading with the Alawi, playing it safe, and they still are able to get back in and get those kills.
I mean, that was a fight that originally did not look like in Team Great's favor literally at all. I mean, Urian, like you said, had to queue out of there. You know, it looked like there was no chance he was going to be able to turn that. But Light Pulse was trying to turn Faith, but had no tentacles. I think he only got 1, maybe 2. And because of that, he wasn't able to turn that kill there. And then the very nice roam from Baja coming top, able to finish him off there. You know, that's that Syndra damage there. That guaranteed ultimate damage. There's not much you can do to kind of counter it.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if that comes down to, though, them having Baja Blast as a substitute in the mid laner, lacking a little bit of communication that he was roaming up. As Symphonic Salute goes in for the dredge line and misses, Balakastron hits the stun on Baja Blast Lover, follows up with the ultimate, but nothing nearby to bounce to. And
Nice
Baja Blast
flash.
a very nice flash away, able to escape with his life for now. As Light Pulse roams down, flashes over the wall, and a very nice blast cone by Baja Blast Lover to deny Light Pulse the kill off that flash over the wall. very well played by the Syndra.
That was a nice blast cone. Baja just saved his life, but saved a lot of time there. You know, gave Bounty a little bit of time to kind of get a little bit of farm top. Still down quite a lot, but well, not a lot, but you know, that was a very nice play. Definitely don't want to give kills over to the Alawi. So, you know, able to really utilize the Season 7 jungle changes very well.
Yeah, and if we compare this game to last game, as Theatrix hands the blue buff over to Blockestron in the mid lane with that early Rylai's, but top lane, at this point, Team Great is really handling this Alawi pick a lot better than last game. Bounty was down at this point about 30 farm, and the Alawi had 2 kills up on him by now, and they are very keeping it even, setting Alawi back to 0-1 and keeping right up in farm with it.
I mean, you're totally right. The Alawi just hasn't been able to get all those kills early because Urian hasn't been putting as much focus up there. He's come up there a couple times, but the one main time he came up there, it turned into kill for his team. So that's a big thing right there. They are playing very well around that Alawi, which is great. I mean, they need to be able to do that in order to have any impact in this game. Ooh. Looking to try to make something happen here. Urian's down here bottom, coming in with the Vault Breaker. Oh, Nautilus is on the traps. Urian's going with the ultimate on the Varus. He does flash away though. Might opt to go for the Nautilus. The ultimate's coming out. Does block the dredge line from Urian. Very nice block. The bomb's coming out. See you later. Very nicely played from Team Great. Awesome block from the Urian. Blocking the dredge line from the Nautilus, preventing his escape. Able to get that execute. Very well played.
Yeah, and that's a very late flash coming out from Symphonic Salute as he gets hit by the traps and then immediately followed up by the Devour. He just got kept in that backline while they were able to put out damage on him, and he flashes way too late. Still loses his life. Iurian's still down there. Simplex flashing in with the Tongue Lash, and they pick up that kill for Psycho Boy, getting this Jinx rolling despite being back in farm.
Flame Chompers have been so good from Psycho. So good. Every gank Urian's had, he might have missed his Vault Breaker or not. Theatrix is down there, half health. I'm not sure why they are not diving.
Yeah, Iurian's, yeah.
With deciding to back out. But anyway, these Flame Chompers have been so well placed. Every single time Urians come down for a gank and they try to escape, the Flame Chompers hit on them before they use their summoner spells. So they're able to get all that damage off before they have the opportunity to use their summoner spell. And at the very point where they think, okay, this might be a chance to flash, they're already too much damage is on them that even if they flash, they would be able to get one more auto attack or 2 more auto attacks to finish them off. They've been very well placed traps from Psycho Boy, able to really benefit from those ganks.
Yeah, and despite being slightly behind in farm, he's picked himself up 2 kills from this good jungle pressure bot. And those, yeah, definitely those well placed traps allowing Simplex to combo that off with a Devour.
He's up in gold too. Crazy. Yeah, down 30 farm, but he's up 100 gold.
Yeah,
oh, well, no, now I guess it's pretty even now.
Yeah, and it's not a very easy lane to farm against either with that Varus poke. Varus actually opting to go with that Essence Reaver instead of the lethality build that we normally see out of long-range poke champions like Varus, where his piercing arrow just does incredible damage straight through the low armor of an opposing AD carry. He's going for that standard machine gun build where he's going to get crits out. As we see top lane Light Pulse ulting onto the... Wow. Just the tentacles annihilate the Garen off the backside, picking it up off that Ghost from the Test of Spirit. And Iurian just backs off on that. And now Symphonic Salute ulting down bot lane on the Jinx as Simplex devours him up and walks away.
Yeah, I mean, that gank top lane, Urian missed his Vault Breaker, but still tried to commit on it. If you miss your Q on the Vi, it is very difficult to get any kind of gank off, because the only damage you're relying on is the Assault and Battery. So, if you miss your Q, at that point, you should back off, especially if you're against an Alawi. You know, there's not really much they could have done in that situation. Once Elliot had missed that Q on the Vi, they should have opted to back out. Instead, they tried to force something to happen, and because of that, they ended up getting a death.
See a little bit of a scuffle down in the bot lane as Varus fires out the ultimate onto the Jinx, and Devour just brings her safely. The Baja Blast Lover going all the way in on Balakastran. Balakastran's ult bounces several times, and he's able to pick up that kill.
I'm not sure why Baja flashed in there. Maybe just trying to make a play, but that was very beneficial for Balakastran. That's something that Brand desperately needed, was that kill there. Maybe Baja was just trying to get something going with that flash, but I mean, these 2 kills here have been a big throw for Team Great. Those kills were the things keeping them in it, but now they're down 2K, and their carries, the Illaoi and the Brand, are starting to get strong.
Yeah, and I think Baja Blast Lover was just trying to break away from letting that ultimate from Brand bounce off the minions to him, but it had already been towards the end of the ultimate, and he was just in too deep trying to finish it off, and the Brand passive and bonus damage coming in through.
Man, it was well played though. It was a nice ulti from Brand, and he definitely played it well in the sense that he knew his damage. Looks like the ultimate's coming in from Tahm Kench. They get behind them here. The TP's coming top. The stat of the week is coming out. Able to get on the Vanish, but there's no ultimate from the Syndra yet. Looks like the ultimate's coming out from Nautilus. Able to sail to the Baja Blast. He is able to get the damage out of the Vanish to kill him. Light Pulse is diving all the way into the dirt. The Devour saving the Syndra's life. Oh my gosh, what a Devour. Able to save the Syndra, preventing the... Oh, not able to save the Syndra. Not enough. Baja still goes down.
The Devour ending off just in time for the Tentacle Slam to come down and pick up that kill off the end as Light Pulse goes down on a turret. And Symphonic Salute flashes in with the Dredge Line.
Oh, Tahm Kench, I love you. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh! Oh!
Very,
oh my
very
goodness gracious.
Very, very good control by Team Great there between Psycho Boy and Simplex to walk in opposite directions and deny extra bounces that would have picked up kills.
How did nobody die? Uria's going for this fight here. It is a 1v3 though. Oh, he does have flash. Oh, nice. They didn't get him to the wall. Just gonna flash over the wall there. A little too aggressive on his part. But that was some very, very clutch Devours coming out from Simplex. You know, even though the Syndra did die, it did allow for the Illaoi to die in the process. If he hadn't got that Devourer off, Light Pulse would have been able to pick up those kills, or that kill, before he had died. But because of the Devour, his dive was then equalized and a kill for a kill.
Yeah, and we see Baja Blast Lover throw out the Scatter of the Weak to stun Symphonic Salute, who just blast clones out over the Dragon Pit. And Scuttle Crab coming out as the hero, blocking that zap from Balakastran. They catch Simplex out on this Tahm Kench, and he still is able to walk away with very, very nice Flame Chompers to ward the enemy team off.
It's 7 Deadly Sins and the Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, Scuttle Crab definitely on their side today.
MVP Scuttle Crab, that's my vote. But I mean, looking at this point right now, it's only a 2K gold lead. It's a pretty close game we got going on right here. I really think it's going to be up to how they handle this Illaoi and team fights. A Dredge Line coming out. Oh my gosh, the Devour avoiding the Varus Chain of Corruption. Very well played. Oh, and the damage is coming out though still. Brand is just sitting in the chompers in the turret. Not gonna be able to get any kills off of that though. But these Devours have prevented so many big plays. Very nicely done from Simplex, trying to capitalize on the picks from 7 Deadly Sins.
Yeah, and Baja Blast Lover, after getting saved by the Devourer, walks in to try and clear the wave. Just getting hit by the piercing arrows as Bounty goes in on Light Pulse. Light Pulse popped the ultimate, trying to get the damage out on Bounty. And Bounty is able to flash away with his life under turret.
Theatrix a little out of place here. Does have the ultimate, does have Ghost, doesn't even matter. The damage there, but the Jinx is here to follow up though. Light Pulse doesn't have his ultimate. The ultimate coming out from Syndra, able to follow up. Let's see if they're going to get anything else off of this. Coming with an orb is Baja, but he does not have his Scatter of the Weak. Looks like he's just going to opt to back it out. Oh, the W for Brand, the stun. Scatter of the Weak preventing the damage. The Garrett coming in with the spin. Very well played. That Scatter of the Weak coming in way clutch for the Syndra, preventing the death. Nice stun.
Yeah, and Theatrix there getting caught out in Team Great's jungle. Team Great is able to rotate down faster than the 3-man from Team 7 Deadly Sins of their bot lane and mid lane. And in the end, they take down the top laner and jungler first, and Blokastron just overstays his welcome in that jungle, gets caught out trying to pick off a free kill on the Syndra, and is taken down in the end for it.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think at this point Jirachi has had a huge impact on this Varus. I don't think Varus is very good with the Essence Reaver ability. I think what makes him good is the lethality build, and I think that Edge of Night, Youmuu's build is what makes him so strong right now. I don't think Essence Reaver is very effective right now in Varus. I mean, he could be trying to force it to happen. He does have a lot of farm advantage over the Jinx, so that is something that he's got going for him, but every one of his Chain of Corruptions has just been countered by the Devour, by the Kench.
Yeah, and that Tahm Kench, a very nice pickup for Team Great here. Those piercing arrows coming in from Jirachi just very, very lackluster, only having the 1 damage item and sitting on boots after that. He really doesn't have much damage follow-up for his team. He can't lay down that poke. Aerian getting the Vault Breaker on Symphonic Salute going to ward. He pops the Assault Battery to try and finish off the support. Garen throwing down the ultimate. He misclicked that onto the Hecarim, but Tahm Kench's ultimate. Yeah, Tahm Kench brings Baja Blast Lover in with that ultimate, and Bounty is going in on Jirachi hard. Jirachi roots him down, and Bounty leaves him under turret. Nope, he's going back in now with that charge.
Oh, what?
Jirachi escapes with very, very low health. I think he may have been 1 HP there, surviving just barely from that Garen dive.
He didn't stay for a little bit extra. He could have taken maybe an extra turret shot or two. I mean, that was a 3 for 1? 4 for 1? No, 3 for 1. No, 3 for 0, excuse me. 3 for 0, but they didn't get any turrets.
3 for 0, they pick up Dragon.
Turrets.
They're going for mid turret right now as Light Pulse
but Light
teleports in.
To be able to kill the 2 of them. Oh, nice Devour. Oh, the Dredge line, though. Oh, the slow's coming out from the Psycho.
Psycho Boy getting a little ahead of himself as Theatrix goes in on him.
Night Pulse on Psycho, though. He's still chasing him. Gets a smite down on him. He's chasing him across the map. It looks like Wraiths have a different idea, though. Oh my gosh, Light Pulse is huge right now. He's able to get all these kills and just pick them up while the whole team can't really do much about it. He just has so much gold going for him.
Yeah, and Team Great may have picked off 3 on that bottom side river and gotten the dragon, but Light Pulse picked up that inner turret top lane and then teleports in mid lane just as the turret's dying. Team Great getting that turret down. Aerian goes in, gets rooted by the Varus, and Dredgelined by the Nautilus, but he's just so tanky they can't really get through that shield from the Sterak's Gauge.
Ooh, a Dredgeline now.
The Syndra there. But Light Pulse teleporting in just as the turret goes down. Team Great gets it, but they're able to get a very nice fight off the backside as only 3 members of Team Great are in that mid lane, and they get a nice 5v3 and pick up a few kills.
Roddy does have his TP up. Light Pulse did use it, so let's see if they can maybe use that effectively. But yeah, I mean, it's the Illaoi just having such a huge impact again. You know, they're making picks across the map, but the zap. Oh, not gonna hit him, not quite. Could they opt for the Baron? No, probably not. But at this point, it's Light Pulse is just putting in so much work on this Illaoi. He's 215 farm. He's just been pushing top the whole game, and even though they're able to get picks off of it, they can't do much because Light Pulse is just pushing the entire time. And Theatrix is coming in right now. No, gonna opt to back out. Oh, gonna make Baja a vessel, looks like. Oh my gosh, the damage.
Yeah, and that Illaoi is sitting almost 900 gold above the next member on Team Great. Really, really putting in the work with that farm and a few kills. Getting good lead. Symphonic Salute hits the Dredgeline on Garen. Not quite the target he wanted as Theatrix ults in on Psycho Boy. Is he able to get it? He picks up the kill with his Q. Fight continuing in the bot side jungle as Aerian comes around the backside. Misses the Vault Breaker, but Assault and Battery is straight onto that Varus, who fails Flash into the wall as Light Pulse finishes off the buy. And Team Great just falling left and right here.
Yeah, they're just a little bit unorganized there. You know, Urian trying to go in by himself and make plays happen. Dredgeline coming out on Bounty, does flash away though. Conflagration coming out from Brad, not gonna be enough. Yeah, just unorganized team fight there, a little bit from Team Great. Might be seeing a little bit of that subs stepping in and a little bit of miscommunication. But Urian going in by himself. Theatrix was able to get that pick on Psycho Boy before the fight really began. Because of that, they didn't have all that damage. Baja was kind of too far back, getting zoned out a little bit, and they were able to really make those picks. Again, it just goes back to Light Pulse on this Lowy, putting in so much damage. He's not only is he putting in so much damage, but he's also a crazy frontliner. You can't kill him at this point. You try to kill him, he's just going to sustain it back. He's doing a great job on this Lowy, really distracting the team from their team from the rest of his carries.
Yeah, Theatrix on this Hecarim went very, very deep, but he was able to trade his life for Psycho Boy, who's the main damage output for Team Great. And Iurian, just late to the party, goes in and misses his main initiation ability and his Vault Breaker, and tries to follow it up with the Assault and Battery to try and catch Jirachi's Varus out. But Jirachi's Varus is not the one outputting the main damage here, so maybe not the target they need to go for it. No one else followed him up on it. He loses his life as 3 members from Team 7 Deadly Sins just take him on when he tries to go for that kill. Even though Jirachi failed his flash, his team was there to back him up.
I still think Team Great is not out of this yet. Uh-oh. Can Team Great do something else to counter this, though? Looks like Bounty might be going down. No, looks like he's going to be able to run away. Theatrix is still chasing him. It is Garen, though. It is Garen. The Q coming back. Nice spin from Bounty. He does have the ultimate. Oh, not going to use it in time, though. At the same time, they're trying to get picks on the Brand. They are going to be able to maybe get him. Oh, nice Vault Breaker coming out. Nautilus, he does Dredgeline away. The ultimate's coming out from Vi just to confirm the kill. They are able to get it. At the same time, Psycho Boy is pushing bottom lane. He's opting to back. I guess he doesn't have much of a wave to push with. Oh, he gets the execute on Felstram. Nice Super Mega Death Rocket. What a hard chain of words to say. Looks like Psycho's going to be able to get this turret bottom lane. Light Pulse is coming in mid to try to make the play happen. He did simply devour Vi. Going to take him out of there, though. Not going to be able to get much. At the same time, Psycho is going to take this tower bottom lane uncontested while Team 7 Deadly Sins was trying to make a play happen mid.
Yes, Psycho Boy taking 2 turrets bot lane while everything's going on across the map, and Balakastron, thinking he backed off, not respecting that Psycho Boy might be in that bush, gets picked off by the Super Mega Death Rocket, as now Light Pulse and Jirachi collapse onto Psycho Boy. I don't think he gets away from this.
Ooh, nice flash, though. The Devourer is available for Simplex.
Yep, very nice flash, and his team is there over the wall for him as they're picking up the Infernal Drake. 3rd dragon of the game.
Team Great is playing way more effectively this time. The Ghost is coming in from Hecarim, though. Here he comes. The Horsey's coming. Not sure how that didn't stun, but it didn't. The Devourer's coming out. Dredgeline is also coming out. Jinx is still right there. Jinx looks like he might be getting popped afterwards. The damage is coming down. Jinx is in the back line, though, but he's by himself now. The Chain of Corruption is coming out from Varus, able to get both of them, hold the Jinx in place. That's 2 kills from Team 7 Deadly Sins coming out.
Yeah, and even though Jinx was inside Tahm Kench with that Devour, the Chain of Corruption is still targeting him on the backside of that, ends up chaining down to him and rooting him off the backside of that after it wears off on the dead Tahm Kench.
It looks like they might be opting to get this top tower now. They do still have the Syndra alive, so she does have the wave clear. Nice Dredgeline coming out, though. The damage that the Theatrix is coming in on the backline. Trying to dive this. Able to finish off Baja. Use the ultimate, but it's not enough. Assault and Battery coming out from Vi, trying to finish it off. Does get the kill on Theatrix. They are going to be able to get this inhib, though. That is inhibited for 7 Deadly Sins. They could opt to go for the Baron after this.
Yeah, the Assault and Battery just comes out way too late to try and save Baja Blast Lover, while 3 members of Team 7 Deadly Sins dive, and the remaining 2 just finish off that turret, and they get an inhibitor and are able to walk away, only trading Theatrix' life, who also brings Baja Blast Lover for him. So 1 for 1, and picking up that turret and inhibitor. A very nice play from 7 Deadly Sins.
Yeah, looks like they're going to opt to go for the Baron now, though. Or the Cheese Bush strat. Oh, goodbye, Simplex. And now they're going to opt to go for that Baron.
Very nice stun from Band, helping them pick that up in the end.
Yeah, they're just playing team fights way more efficiently. You know, at this point, it seems like Team Great is really trying to rely on the Vi to make picks. Urien is very fed, but he can't do it by himself. And at this point, it's Seven Deadly Sins, Theatrics, and the Alawi top are putting in so much work. And they're just that frontline threats that you can't really deal with. You know, you can devour, but you can't. Once you devour him, the dredge line comes out from Symphonic, and he's able to just hold Tahm Kench in place until he eventually spits you out, and then you just eventually die anyway. And I'm not sure why they're not just getting Baron. I guess they are deciding to push instead. I mean, Garen is bottom with no TP. Okay. I guess they decide pushing is more important, but that's alright. Let's see if they can maybe be able to get this tower here. They do have the Jinx alive, though, so it looks like it's going to be hard. Now they're deciding Baron is the call. There is no vision on it for Team Great.
Yeah, and I really want to talk about right now this decision from Baja Blast Lover to pick up Liandra's Torment as we have a slight lull in the action besides Baron, rather than go for that Zhonya's, because he's just being dove on by the Hecarim in the backline, and he's opting for extra penetration and percent health shred. He probably really needs that Zhonya's with that active to be able to save himself from an initial dive. I'm not really sure what he's going for on that item pickup there.
Yeah, I mean, even with, let's say for argument's sake, he was going for another damage item rather than going for Zhonya's. I'm not sure if Liandra's is the item you want to go for. I mean, the only ability she has that slows is her Force of Will. You don't have a Rylai's, so I mean, even a Void Staff would have been pretty good. You know, it's just something that maybe not the best pickup of items. I definitely agree Zhonya's would have been strong, especially with how much Theatrics is diving. But maybe she feels that's the damage item, or excuse me, that's the damage item Baja Blast needs in order to be effective, I guess.
Yeah, we see Seven Deadly Sins setting up some deep vision in the red side jungle of Team Great with their bot lane, grouping around this Alawi now, rather than letting Alawi split push. We see Symphonic Salute going in to support that.
Yeah, it's really going to be hard to deal with Light Pulse in team fights. He is huge. He's got his three items finished already. I mean, he's just going to be so hard to kill. He's got the most farm in the game. He's going to be just a tank in team fights. I mean, he can honestly pretty much do whatever he wants at this point. And they are looking to push middle lane in while he is pushing top, so they are getting that split push. They do get the tower. Looks like they're going to try to get the inhib. They do get the inhib as well. Not much of an answer from Team Great. At the same time, trying to defend bottom lane from Light Pulse. But it looks like Team 750 Sins might be trying to push this in. Could opt to go bottom lane to help him out. Looks like that's what they're going to do. Oh, the Vault Breaker's coming in, prevents the Ghost coming in from Theatrics. Nice ultimate ability shot from the Vi. Looks like it's not going to be enough, though. The Nautilus is on the backside, a little bit out of place here, though. Oh, sweet three-man ultimate from the Nautilus. The ultimate coming out from Hecarim. Oh, Tentacles left and right, smash and dash, and coming out from Light Pulse on the Alawi. Able to finish off Bounty. That's 2 kills coming down. Let's see if they'll be able to get anybody else. They still do have the Baron buff. Gonna try to push this in right now. Their top lane, top wave is pushing in right now. Looks like they're just gonna be able to get this third inhib and might be able to end the game right now.
Yeah, Light Pulse going in on Psycho Boy, able to get that Test of Spirit off as Tahm Kench devours him. Baja Blast Lover gets hooked in from Symphonic Salute, but picks up Balakastron with that unleashed power, and Light Pulse comes in with a Tentacle Smash to bring him down.
Looks like that's gonna be game. Yep. Wow, very good game though. That was one of our closer games a little bit there towards the end. You know, honestly, there was a point in time where I thought Team Great might have been able to pull that. Like, Seven Deadly Sins definitely had the advantage when with the Alawi. Honestly, I mean, it was one of those situations in which I don't know why it wasn't banned. Even though Light Pulse didn't get those kills early on, he still had that impact. He was still able to make the pit. Like, as an example, they didn't make the kills early on, but when Urien tried to make a gank top later on, there was a play where Light Pulse just ulted and killed him. And that was like his only death early on, because that's how Alawi is. And it just had such pressure in the top lane and was able to just constantly be pressuring the waves so that any play Team Great made around the map Alawi countered it by pushing a side wave.
Yeah, and especially Alawi outputting that damage, sitting at 34,000 damage to champions, the highest in this game, slightly beating out Varus' 28,000. I mean, he was just a force to be reckoned with, and really, really, even though he wasn't in too many team fights for the most part, he was able to trade a whole lot of damage out onto the enemy team and just force Team Great off of objectives.
Definitely a good game though. That was very entertaining to watch. I think that honestly could have gone either way at some points there, but overall, a very very strong showing from both teams. So I
Yeah,
think it's that. Go ahead, Dylan.
I almost wonder if Team Great at the end there would have been able to take that fight back, as Balakastron stepped up really far with that brand, but Iarian caught him out with that assault and battery. It's just Team Great wasn't in position to make use of that catch, and Brand was able to still put out that damage in the final team fight and just win the sweep for Team 7 Deadly Sins. I mean, Iarian pulling the trigger a little early, maybe. I wonder if they might have been able to pull something better out of that team fight, but 7 Deadly Sins playing it very well and taking home 3 kills in the end, pushing it straight in and winning the game.
All right, Dylan. So let's talk MVPs for games. So, game 1, who you got? Who's your MVP?
Game 1, you know, I really almost want to give it to Balagastrand on that Annie, because he really didn't put in much early game, but in the end he was able to get those big Tibbers ultimates and a few picks here and there, catching Iurian out with a couple death brushes, solo death brushes, and he was able to get the good stuns with the Tibbers on and just really put those late game team fights into bed for Team 7 Deadly Sins and allow them to pressure those objectives while Light Pulse was getting it done on the split push.
All right, I'd be all right with that. What about game 2?
Game 2, I really probably want to give it to Light Pulse's Alawi. He was more involved with his team, a little more inside those team fights and dishing out damage for 7 Deadly Sins and pushing the carries off of any fights, while Theatrix did go deep and pick off carries here and there. Light Pulse was really that front line that they needed so that the Brand and the Varus could really, really put out the damage off the backside.
Yeah, I think if I was gonna give an MVP to the overall series, and this is including game 1, I'd give it to Light Pulse. I really think that Alawi just had so much impact, and although game 1 he might not have been overall on the same, he might have gotten try to go in a little bit too aggressive, might have gotten picked off. He still took one person with him pretty much every time, so he still had that pressure both games that the other team was just not really able to counter as much, and they were really able to add that pressure to him or to the map that Team Great really couldn't counter as much, and I think he really put in good work on the Alawi.
Yeah, definitely. Really, really punishing Team Great for not respecting that pick and banning that away from him. Definitely a pick he's comfortable on. He's played many times. And while he played very, very a solo queue mentality in that first game, he pulled together some good team fights in the second game and still put on pressure each game, forcing Team Great to lose objectives and lose their lives to try and stop him.
So what do you think, Dylan? Will interview him?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Hell yeah! All right, I'll go grab him. I'll be right back. He is on the way, and there he is.
What's up, guys?
Yo, what's going on, Sebastian?
How's it going? How's it going?
Good. Congratulations on your game win. Game 1 and 2, match win overall. Very well played. Some entertaining matches there. Dylan and I chose you as the MVP for the overall series. So congratulations on that.
Appreciate it.
All right, so we got a couple questions for you here.
All right,
I'll go ahead and start it off here. So my first question is, did you think there was any chance they were going to ban the Alawi game 2, and when they did not, was that something you were like, okay, I'm playing it no matter what, or did you wait and see what their team comp was?
Um, Honestly speaking, one of my biggest fears is actually being that one of my biggest fears as a player is actually becoming that one trick. And a lot of people think that I'm a Jace one trick at that point because even though he got nerfed and whatnot, I still got banned both games. So I was kind of mad about that because I really wanted to play Jace. I thought, okay, well the bans are coming in, I can play him. But no, with the Alawi, it's more of a game that I know I can dish out the damage and whatnot. And when it came to team fights, or I'm sorry, not team fights, champ select. The second game, I was actually really surprised that they didn't outright ban me with the Jace and the Alawi, um, because I did have most damage in game for both games actually. But yeah, I was really surprised. And whenever they didn't ban out the Alawi, I just wanted to be like I just wanted to triple check that they didn't pull out like maybe a Darius or something else cheesy to try and counterpick me, because that did happen to me the last game that we played against Packer Diehard. He pulled out a Swain and he absolutely destroyed me in lane. So I was just really making sure that they didn't have the option and they had to commit a little bit more on a game plan in order for that Alawi to be effective. So that was my whole mentality there. And as soon as they didn't ban it, and I saw that they didn't really have anything to answer for it, I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll just play it again and see what happens. And they picked the Garen, which isn't the right answer, by the way. So yeah.
Nice. Dylan, you got anything?
All right, so I want to go back to the first game and your team comp really revolving around the enemy team comp. They had a very, very nice team fighting comp with the Malphite and the Vi and the Cassidy and me able to get in there and the Zyra crowd controlling everyone. What was your game plan? Because you seem to play more of like that split pushing role rather than getting into the team fight role. And how are you guys really thinking through that game in Champ Select?
Well, to be honest, it's actually really funny because you're absolutely right that I did play that game as a solo queue in a solo queue mentality. But at the end of the day, I thought that they had a lot of CC, especially coming out with the Zyra and Ezreal. Ezreal's a really hard target to engage on anyway because he does have that arcane shift and he does have flash. So really around the mid game, I had a pretty substantial lead on the Malphite. I was dishing out damage, and I got a pretty early lead, and I was able to actually grab a couple kills in top lane. So at that point, I more or less decided, hey, you know what? I'm just going to split off, and I'm going to take objectives. I'm going to take towers. They have to commit at least one or two people on me. There's nobody that can duel me post 15, 20 minutes. So if they commit two people on me that they have to burn ultimates and summoner spells in order to kill me, that's ultimates and summoner spells that aren't going to be used on my teammates. That yes, they're going to be in a 4v5 situation, but they have no Vi ultimate at that point. Zyra exhausted me multiple times, so I was able to tank that for my AD carry and for the Ziggs. I was able to tank that for the Ziggs, and I was able to tank that for the mid laner that we had. I forgot who our mid laner was. I forget, but I was able to tank those summoner spells without even being in the team fight. So whenever, yeah, I died and I get a couple of kills. I take at least one other person with me. Well, a 1-for-1, and you burn pretty much half of your utility to try to win team fights. You don't really have a team fight comp. So that was my mentality, and I did have a couple slip ups over there in top lane, but again, Alawi is just one of those champions that's like, all right, well, come at me. I'll burn my ultimate. It's only a minute cooldown. I don't really have to rely on any summoner spells to really get that 1v1. And hell, if I bring the entire team down below to half health, I mean that's an absolute win for me because I know the Ziggs and everyone else is going to be able to come back on top. Also, Theatrix was just dishing out like a crap ton of dueling damage with that Graves. So really that's the whole reason why I had that solo queue mentality. It's like if I get them low or if I tank summoner spells, if I tank ultimates, I did my job anyway without even being in the team fight while still pressuring an objective.
Awesome. You got anything else, Greg?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely some solid points. When when you were top lane split pushing, they had to send a bunch of people up there to deal with you, and you might have died, but you would take out one or two in the process, which was gave your team pressure to push across the map. So my next question is: so game one cleaner than game two. What do you think changed from game one to game two? What do you think was the big difference that made game one cleaner for you guys?
The difference that made game one and game two cleaner is that honestly, they respected the Alawi a little bit more. They didn't respect it enough to ban it. But for the first 5 or 6 minutes, Elliot was in the top lane, trying to get something on me before I hit six. Didn't really work out, but it was what it was at that point. But honestly, we really slipped up in a lot of communicate. We had a lot of communication errors, like, oh, this person is bot lane and drag. We kind of need a ward, and we would say it, but we wouldn't do it. It would fall on deaf ears. So definitely something that we have to work on, communication wise. I think that was the biggest thing, is that it was just the lack of communication. But game two, we sort of all collectively got together and it's like, all right, guys, let's actually win this. And everyone's like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. And then we just pretty much took over the game from there, and we actually started shot calling and whatnot. So really, it's just we can't get comfortable in that sense. We had a lot of our comfort picks, but we just can't get comfortable in that manner and just expect to steamroll any other team, because any other team has respectable players that we actually have to play against. So.
Dylan, you got anything else? I got one more if you don't.
Yeah, and that lack of communication, does that come down to the fact that you guys had 2 subs, or is that just a normal problem you guys have that you as a team still need to work out coming towards the end of this split?
Well, the thing is that we never really had a shot caller, to be completely honest. It's I've made a couple of comments on it before, where we're just a group of guys that collectively say, hey, I'm gonna do this, and then the rest of the team's like, all right, cool, we'll just go around what you're doing. And that's mainly what happened in the first game, was just, hey, I'm gonna go do this. All right, well, we'll go do Baron. Hey, I'm gonna go bot lane and push. All right, well, we'll just pressure drag, or go top because we have a Ziggs. So there's not really a lot of shot calling aspects on it. Maybe we should try and do that. But hey, Theatrics and Symphonic Salute, man, like, don't blame them for anything. They're clutch. Theatrics is pulling out like some major games on that jungle. So yeah, it's definitely not a sub issue. It's just definitely a team issue that we really need to hash out and to clean up.
All right, now I got a question for you. Dylan, do you have any more after this?
No, I think I'm good for today.
All right. So I got a question for you, Sebastian. So you say you want to play the Jace. Do you think after they ban it, spamming random letters in chat will guarantee that you'll get the champion next time, or do you think that's just enforcing the fact that they'll ban it?
That's just enforcing the fact that they'll ban it. If they want to ban the Jace every single time, that's fine with me. I have other champions that I can play, obviously.
Now, when do you get to whip out the Urgot top?
Let me think.
No, we don't want to spoil your team secrets.
No,
we'll just leave it at that.
It's not team secrets. What are the chances of me digging down to China?
We'll leave the team secrets at that. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations again, Sebastian, on your team's performance this week and your MVP. Definitely looking forward to your future matches coming to the end of the split, and congratulations.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
Yep, you too.
You too. All right. So, coming to the end of the stream here. If you haven't already, make sure you give the stream a follow. Definitely the best way to follow to see if when our matches are being played, easier than having to just constantly be checking it. So give us a follow. Number 1. And number 2, if you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and donate. We already have $100 earned for our prize pool, literally all donated and going to all the players. So that's awesome. Going to be a fantastic prize pool to play for. So all that information, if you would like to do that, is below the stream. Dylan, you got anything else?
Nope. I think we had 2 fantastic games, and as long as we keep it up, come back in the future, see some more games, I think we'll finish off this split strong.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. You guys all have a good night. Good to go.